guys, it's Vicki Ross from Axully.com. I hope you enjoy this little 10-minute video. I had to chop a lot of it to make it fit in 10 minutes, but we're going to go with it anyway because I think you'll learn from my experiment. I sometimes wake up in the mornings with a fully planned project in my head. I always acknowledge my daughter Angel for those, and I almost always work on them that very same day. So here we go. This is called a Japanese 4-hole binding. This little book says There Japan, 1936. Now that's cool. I love it. And I treat it with respect. Found the Dr. Seuss flashcards for $1 at Target. First thing I did was took a piece of paper and I cut it to the exact height of my little book. Okay? Then fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it in half again, and fold it in half again. Now folks, that isn't rocket science. Crease it pretty good, and then open it up. Okay? Now, 1/2, it doesn't really matter, this is just your pattern. In a straight line, and you can measure it if you want. Make a dot on the very first fold, skip a fold, the next fold, skip a fold, the next fold, skip a fold, the next fold. Folks, that gives you 4 holes, and that is all you have to measure. Okay? Okay. Then I took a piece of plastic. This is a leftover stencil material that I had scrapped from a book I made, and I kind of tried to decide where I wanted these holes. Reason being, my paper is not flexible enough to punch here and turn the pages. So what I thought I would do was experiment with with fabric. Their book was 10 millimeters, which is right at 3/8 of an inch American. And I punched those holes with a tiny Japanese screw punch. Now you can use an awl. Put a piece of board or something under your mat, under your cutting, because you don't want to cut a self-healing mat. Anyway, I laid my plastic down and I just cut my little sew holes. It would help if I was standing up. I'd have a little better leverage on this. Okay? So now I have my same 4 holes in my piece of plastic. This is just a pattern. And it would help if you cut them straight, because I've got that one off a little bit. The next thing I did was decided if I want my 10 millimeter edge on the outside, that's where my stitching holes will go. How much overlap did I want on my little cards? And I decided on 3/8 of an inch. Now on this particular card, this is the border, and there is more of a border on this side than this side, so that's going to be where I put my sewing. Alright, so far. And we're going to do all 26 of them like that. Next I took, you're going to crack up over this. This is an old canvas drop cloth that's been beating around our garage and finally ended up in my studio. And I cut this, I didn't cut it, I did a little trim. I decided I did want the fringe that was already there. So minus fringe, it's the same size as my plastic strip. And I tore it so I'd get fringe on the other side. That way you don't have to worry about it being straight. It tears right along the weft thread and the horizontal thread, but it tears straight. So there you go. The next thing I did was lay this little piece down on there, and I cut it. Now I've got a piece of fabric. 10 minutes is going to be hard for me, but we're going to make it. Took some Deco Art matte medium, smeared it right along this line. I don't really want it on my wood, but I'm getting it there. And Have some water over here to the side. And I'll lay my little piece of fabric right there. And if you hold it up to the light, I can see it, you can't, but I can kind of see where approximately 3/8 of an inch is. And that's about right. I'm going to do this to all 26 and then I'll be back. Alright, I'm doing my thinking off camera because this is a 10-minute limit. What I did was very carefully unfolded the Dr. Seuss box. It was attached right there. So I unfolded it, found the seam, and tore it gently off the seam. This is going to make a great cover, I think. I'm going to fold those in, fold the corners in, glue them down, fold the top down. The only reason I'm doing this is to give it a little bit more strength. Because I'm not real sure what this is going to end up. It may just end up being a kid's flashcard book. But it can always be a journal. So that would be your back cover. I've got... Alrighty, I'll let y'all see. I've got my plastic pattern on here. This is waxed cotton cord. It's 1.5 millimeter black. Back again. I decided after thinking it through a little bit more with needle in hand that I needed to go ahead and poke holes on my pages, and I could do about 2 or 3 at a time. So there we have that. Now, there's one point in this project that I really thought about giving up. The cardboard from the boxes was real flimsy, and the holes that I punched may not have been quite big enough for the thread and for the depth and thickness of all the pages. In retrospect, I wish I had used smaller thread, bigger holes, and either some paper or maybe some regular fabric instead of the canvas. Muslin might have been a better choice. Live and learn, and I was determined to finish this thing even though it took all kinds of pliers and tools and bit needles to get it finished. And I did do a PDF file with some illustrations to show this binding technique. I was struggling so much with it that some of it was off screen. And then I realized that I didn't have enough thread, so I had to wiggle some extra through. You can see where I'm getting really frustrated here. Not every project is a win right off the bat. Those less experienced crafters need to know that sometimes what you see on a video has been worked out beforehand, and maybe you're not seeing the very first sample of it. So keep that in mind as you're working on your own projects. Even experienced crafters sometimes fumble. So this is the real thing, the real deal in action. Talk about a project I made for myself. Not only did I bend the needle, and Randy will probably come home and say, well, that's not the needle for that. But I was running out of thread, so measure 6 times, get plenty of thread. And then I got it all the way back through to the middle and missed the loop on the end. So I just said the heck with it and put this loop twice. Would I do this for kids? No. This might make a cute little journal. And you can keep messing with your threads till you get it the tightness that you want. But there it is. I'm going to counter the wind. I'm going to tie these threads off on the inside. And I won't do it again with fabric. That was too hard. And I also have too many pages. But it's a cute little pocket journal. Now, if I get through here and find out I've alphabetized, have one in the wrong order, you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm going to gesso over these pups and make a junk journal out of it. I think it really is a cute idea. That binding was a bitch, but it's done. Over and out. Thanks. Bye.